everybody. We're heading over to go fly the drone, scout some crops, look at the river, see how bad we're flooded out. Said we have some crops underwater, but probably nothing too bad. So just head over there and check it out. Alright, we're going to fly this thing down the river. While we are crop scouting, don't worry, we will discuss this. It's made a couple appearances now, and a lot of people have asked about it, so after I do this, maybe we'll talk about it. There's definitely some flooding down there, but I mean, for the most part, it seems like it's in the low places, but it's definitely not good for the corn. That is a fact. I don't see a lot of corn underwater, but I see a lot of water in the corn. One of the fields that it's in is our test plot that we do, so I would imagine that will affect it a little negative. Just because I'm the kind of guy that's super prepared all the time, I brought 3 drone batteries and none of them are fully charged. So it's gonna be a quick flight. Alright, I guess one thing Dad's going to do while I'm crop scouting is he is going to clean up his corn planter. So I'm going to take the ag cams off of it. We intend to utilize those on the grain cart. I think they'll be very handy on that, and we're getting ready to hook it up for wheat harvest if it ever quits raining. Heard him say on the radio this morning that we are on track for the wettest year ever in this area. I think they said we were at 25 or 26 inches of rain since the first of the year. So yeah, plenty wet. So looking at our weather station today, the Farmer's Edge station, and it says we've had 10.7 or no, it's 10.92 this month. So awesome. Now what we're going to do with the cameras, we're going to leave the wires on the planter, and then we've got a couple extra set of wire. So we're just taking the cameras, and the monitor will still be in that tractor because that's the tractor we use in the cart, so it should work pretty smooth. I think this will be a real nice angle down on top of the auger shooting into the truck, and then one behind it, because with that grain cart you cannot see anything behind you. Now, this is the first day of summer, June 21st. Almost feels like summer. At least there's sunshine. It's not real hot yet. So if it just stay like this for a few weeks, we'd get our wheat off. All of our crops wouldn't drown, but I think it's supposed to rain again. It has rained so much that the floor in this shed is so soft that the jack stand just sunk down for half the planter. Hopefully he can get it up without a chain. Come back! Got it! Whoa! Up! If you don't know, that's called a quick hitch. Basically, like he's doing, he just backs up to the implement, fix it up, and then I'll show you how it latches in a second. Alright, this is how you fasten it. That's it. Yeah, that one already fastened. Throw this right here. Use that over these pins, and now it's latched on there. We got to play a little bit of musical equipment, so he's going to drop the planter there where he's going to clean it up, and then we got to move the wheat drill. I don't know where we're going to put it right now. So much easier with 2 people. And hey, this jack still works pretty good. The oldest pieces of equipment we got, it still works fine. Now, all we're doing with the drill is just scooting it over. We store the corn planter right here. It's longer than the drill, so it takes up more space. We'll put the drill in the middle, that way we can still pull in the grain cart. This is the plan. I think it'll work. Seems like it's worked before.
This was all posed. We're just going to talk about the car now.
Sorry about that, but hey, you gotta get that thumbnail right. So here's the car. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, it's made a few appearances there, and I kind of teased you guys about 2 weeks ago or so, and had it in the tail end of a video. So here it is. This is a 1967 Chevrolet Camaro Rs SS. Now, if you don't know, 1967 was the first year for the Camaro, and 68 and 69 resemble each other pretty heavily. There's a few differences in the 69 Camaro, but these are considered the first gen Camaros, which in my opinion is by far the best Camaros as far as appearance goes. I mean, I know a 2019 Camaro will leave this thing in the dust, and it's probably a thrill to drive, but man, there's just something about a classic. I mean, they don't handle worth a crap. They're noisy. You have to work on them more, but man, they're fun to drive. They're fun vehicles. I'm sure you're wondering. I'm sure you're wanting to know the story on this car. Dad and I bought this car in 2004, so we've had it for a long time. I paid for half of it, he paid for half of it, and in that time frame, or since then, he has given me his half of it. So I mean, full disclosure, I did not pay for all this car, and we've had it for a long time, so I don't want you to think that I slaved for hours in a garage piecing it together piece by piece. I did not. It looked like this when we bought it. It was actually fresh off a restoration. Someone had spent a lot of money on it, and we found it at a used car lot for a heavily discounted price. So I don't know what the dude was thinking when he traded it in. I was told he traded it in on like a 2000 Corvette or something like that. So I bet he wishes he had the car back now. It is an original RS SS. It's an original 350 Power Glide. The 350 that's in it, I am 99.99% sure is not the original 350. I thought we had a build sheet on the motor. I thought it was a crate engine, but looking back through the records, we still have all the receipts from the restoration, and I could not find any receipt for that motor. The build sheet that I thought we had, the guy that had built the motor just wrote it down on the back of a cable bill envelope. So it is somewhat built up, has a mild cam in it, sounds pretty good, has headers, MagnaFlow or Flowmasters. So I mean, sounds really good. The main downfall is it is a 2-speed Power Glide, and it has a 410 rear end. So it's not exactly the best cruising car. You're running like 3,000 RPMs around 55 mile an hour. So I mean, yeah, definitely not the most fuel efficient. Pop the hood, take a look at it. There she is. One thing I'd like to add to this car, there's actually a few things I'd like to add to it, but definitely an electric fan. It might help some heating issues, especially with that rear end. Here's the interior. This just sets here. This is not factory. It's not bolted in there. It just sets there. If you didn't know, old cars didn't come with cup holders, and I like to drink coffee, so I had to have a cup holder. So I found that. It just sets right in there. It does the job. Over the driver's side. This has the deluxe interior. In 1967, that basically just meant the white stripe around the interior. These are vinyl seats, not leather. I don't think they had leather back in these days. Or they didn't have leather seats on very many cars if they did. It does have a folding back seat, so that's interesting. I guess that's a fairly rare option. Here's the steering wheel, the gauges, everything. These are called I think they're called rally gauges or something along those lines. I like them. They look really cool. They do not function. Tachometer doesn't function, which is why this tach's here. And the speedometer is off by quite a bit. So, but hey, they look pretty. But no air condition. This was an original air conditioned car. Just it was taken out at some point. You have these vents down here. You probably can't see that, but there's vents down here. You pull them open, they let a lot of air in. Air conditioning would still be better. But, oh well. back to the outside. The car had new quarters put in it. Can't remember if it had front fenders put on it, but you can kind of see where they're maybe bubbling a little bit, but still looks pretty good. Still driver quality, that's for sure. But yeah, there's the car, guys. If you got any more questions about it, let me know. One thing I'm considering doing, like I said, I've got a few things I want to do to this car. I have a transmission for it. Many moons ago, I got a 700 R4 transmission to put in it. That's a 4-speed overdrive transmission, automatic. I'd like to put that in the car. Like I said, I have it. I need to put it in there. That would make it a much more cruise-friendly car, because I would like to start cruising in it a little bit more. And also like to get the dash working, get all those gauges working. I don't know if I'll replace them, rebuild those ones, or what. Kind of like the way Dakota digital gauges look, so that might be a winter project. I've considered starting another YouTube channel about stuff like that, hobbies that I'm into, things that don't pertain to farming. So I'm gonna put a poll in the top of this video. I always point to the wrong side, so it's one of these sides. And let me know what you guys think. Should I do that? Are you guys gonna subscribe? Just let me know. I mean, it'll probably be full of cars and hunting and shooting and fishing. I don't fish at all, actually. I don't know why I even said that, but stuff like that. So let me know, and yeah, that's it for the car. I'm gonna get out of here now. I'm hungry, and it's lunchtime. George is probably withered away to nothing. We gotta go. Forgot you guys might want to actually hear it runs. It does need the carburetor cleaned out. Sometimes it spits and sputters, but that's what happens when you don't drive enough. And that's what the cup holders are for.